7 minutes late, Mr. Collins.
You kept us waiting 700 years. You can have your 7 minutes. Right, let's get this over with.
Hello everyone, I'm Johnny, and today we're taking a look at Michael Collins. This is probably a top 40 favorite war movie of mine. It has a lot going for it. Easy to follow real historical storytelling, great acting, and a high production value from sets to the battles. So let's check it out. The story of course centers around Michael Collins, played by Liam Neeson. Michael Collins was a leader in the Irish War of Independence from 1919 to 1921, a guerrilla conflict between the Irish Republican Army, or IRA, and British forces in control of the country. However, Collins' revolutionary career began before this. He fought in the short-lived Easter Rising of 1916, which is featured in the movie. After this event, he was subsequently taken prisoner. During the Irish War of Independence, Collins was the director of intelligence for the IRA and a government minister of the self-declared Irish Republic. He would later become the chairman of the provisional government of the Irish Free State and lead the Irish delegation in the negotiations that led to the Anglo-Irish Treaty. This treaty would be rejected by Republican opposition and lead to the Irish Civil War of 1922 to 1923, which Collins only saw the start of as he was shot and killed in an ambush by anti-treaty forces in August of 1922. At the age of just 31. In the period Collins lived and during his short life, Irish political and military history moved extremely fast, and the film through Collins does an excellent job at bringing this history to life, without it being too confusing. If you know little about the Irish Revolution or Irish Civil War, Michael Collins would be a good movie to get an introduction of some of the principal characters and their motivations during this time. The movie deserves a lot of credit for packing in a lot of complex history, while still leaving enough room for the characters to be three-dimensional, particularly in their motivations and relationships with each other. It is easy to view bloody uprisings, civil wars, and wars of independence as run by brutal and savage men. This film, however, paints the violence as far more morally complex than this. During the Irish War for Independence, about 900 civilians were killed, and both the IRA and United Kingdom wanted the public on their side. These civilian deaths, of course, weighed most heavily on the Irish, having to kill their own countrymen. It's easy to paint the IRA as terrorists, as the British did at the time, but the IRA could only win a war by fighting unconventional warfare. Men were often gunned down in their homes or in the street. Not just soldiers or police were targeted, but Irish informants as well. Killings were brutal and destabilized the country. The movie highlights the challenges of this type of warfare. The IRA weren't just simple bloodthirsty men, murderers, or thugs. They were men fighting for the liberty of the nation. The IRA at the time could fight a conventional war and be slaughtered, or they could fight an asymmetrical war, which was dirty but gave them a chance at winning. Once this asymmetrical war became dirty, who was to blame, the British or the IRA? These are questions the movie explores. Michael Collins reflects on such warfare in this powerful scene.
And you know what I think then? I hate them. Not for their race, not for their brutality. I hate them because they've left us no way out. I hate whoever put a gun in young Vinnie Byrne's hand. I know it's me, and I hate myself for it. I hate them for making hate necessary.
The British themselves were also terrorists during this time, in many ways more so than the IRA. The film highlights events such as Bloody Sunday. On November 21, 1920, the Irish Republican Army assassinated members of the British intelligence service, known as the Cairo Gang. In a reprisal, British forces raided Croke Park during a Gaelic football match. The original intent was likely to search all males in attendance, but jumpy British forces opened fire on the crowd, killing 14 civilians, including a player. Later that night, 3 Republican prisoners were executed by British forces in Dublin Castle, adding to the day's body count. Such events grew both hatred of the British and of the conflict itself. The movie highlights how divided men would have felt about the conflict. The Irish weren't soldiers serving a tour abroad, with their families waiting for them safe at home. IRA soldiers put at risk their own families and friends each day they fought for their independence. Men like Michael Collins could be, and were persuaded to compromise for the sake of peace. And these compromises divided the Irish terribly. Alan Rickman plays Eamon de Valera brilliantly in the film. Valera and Collins worked and fought together for Irish independence, but would be brutally divided against each other during the Irish Civil War. Collins wanted peace with the British, seeing the Anglo-Irish Treaty as a stepping stone for complete independence, one that would stop the spilling of blood. Valera viewed the treaty as too large a compromise and would pursue further war. The movie itself is a bit of history, as it was made in 1996 after years of being rejected by studios due to the political climate in Ireland and Britain. Only in 1995 was the movie greenlit, as the Provisional IRA declared a complete cessation of military operations in August of 1994. The filming of the movie would take place during the ongoing peace process, which would eventually lead to the 1998 Good Friday Agreement, which would lead to the decommissioning of IRA weapons by 2005. This should give an idea of how significant and long-lasting the effects of the events of the movie are on the Irish people. Overall, the movie was well received by historians. Some declared it as IRA propaganda, but I think today it's generally more well received with British reviewers, seen only as representing the climate and events of the early 1900s, while not weighing in on more modern events of the IRA's conflict with Britain in the second half of the 20th century. On the movie's release, it was understandable how people were frustrated with the IRA's depiction of being only freedom fighters due to the high levels of terrorist attacks on civilians between the early 1970s and late 1990s. Aside from the quality acting, the cinematography, sets, and locations really give the film historical chops for transporting the audience in time and place. The movie was filmed primarily in Dublin. Key locations include a large-scale set built at the old Grangan Gorman Hospital grounds to replicate Dublin's streets and iconic buildings, like the General Post Office. Other specific locations used in the film include Kilmainham Jail, Trinity College, Grafton Street, and Dublin Castle. Dublin Castle is featured significantly in the movie. During the War of Independence, Dublin Castle was fortified, housing British officials and paramilitary forces. It was considered the nerve center of the British war against Irish separatism. The castle was handed over to the Irish provincial government on January 16, 1922. As shown in the film, Michael Collins led the Irish delegation to receive the keys from the last Lord Lieutenant, Viscount FitzAlan. Alright, I'm Johnny. Thanks for watching. Do check out Michael Collins if you're a history buff, or you're just looking for a good understanding of 20th century Irish history and the Irish independence movement and wars. Anyway, if you want to support the channel, do like and subscribe and all those things. But most importantly, do take care and have a nice rest of your day.